So we are nearing the end of summer, and you might have noticed that more and more vacant spaces start to appear in your garden because you're of course harvesting more and more of your summer crops. Now, an experienced gardener will have new seedlings at the ready to be planted in that vacant space and to keep roots in the soil. But speaking from experience, I can totally understand if you've forgotten to sow some new seedlings and now you're left with a big empty space in your garden. This is not that big of a problem. You can choose to, for example, cover up the soil with some mulch and call it an early end of the season for that spot. But there is a slight alternative to this problem, and that is that you can retransplant existing and well-established plants that are already growing in your garden. And that is what I'm going to show you today. So this is my last grow bed with some potatoes in there. I'm going to dig them up, hopefully get a nice harvest, after which of course the grow bed will become vacant, and then I will transplant one of my existing crops from the garden into this grow bed. Oh boy, look at that. This is a nice harvest. Easily close to 8 to 9 kilograms. Some really big ones, like this one over here. The yellow ones, the golden ones, are from this year, and the red ones are the ones that I failed to dig up last year, and they resprouted and they gave me a beautiful new harvest of the same potato of last year. So now that this bed is vacant, let's go over to that side of the garden and pick up some new crops to put in the grow bed. So this is the grow bed that I grow my kale in. As you can see, they are already pretty big, around I'd say 50 centimeters. They are well established. They have been growing on for about 2 months now, but this grow bed is starting to get a little bit crowded. You can't really tell, but I have 4 kale plants in here, and I probably planted them too close to each other. They are kind of competing now for space and for nutrients. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig out 2 of the kale plants in here and replant them or retransplant them in the bed that I just cleared up, freeing up space in this bed while colonizing the other bed over there. And this way all of them have more space to grow and they won't be competing for nutrients as much. The same can be said for my broccoli plants over here to the side. I actually have 5 of them, and this grow bed is also starting to get really crowded. The one farthest from me is actually getting blocked out from sunlight by the other one, so I'm also going to transplant them. But let's start off with these kale plants first. So I'm going to dig around the plants in quite a large area, trying to locate how deep it has grown, where the bulk of the roots are, and then just like that, just gonna lift it up like this. I'm going to transplant this one and one diagonal to it in the grow bed, and well, the root stalk isn't really that big, as you can see over here, but it's still fairly small, so let's not keep it out of the soil too long, and let's retransplant it in the other bed. Now for the one diagonal to the previous one. This one is already quite a size bigger, but let's see if I can get it out of there relatively unscathed. There we go. And again, the root system wasn't that big, so not taking too much time keeping these out of the bed. Let's transplant it into the other one. There we go. Alright, so the transplant was successful. I'm going to put some homemade compost around the kale plants, and I'm going to water the bed thoroughly, and then I'm going to lay down the mulch. Now this is actually the compost from the very first bioreactor that I made, and it's still full of worms. So this is awesome stuff. I'm gonna put it around the kale plants. Not too much, just a little, well, what do we call this? Little cake around it. Again, this stuff is full of nutrients for your plants. It's full of worms and it's very good at retaining moisture. So this is the creme de la creme when it comes to compost. All right, I'm going to reapply the mulch. This is alpaca wool, by the way. Wool in general is, in my opinion, one of the better mulches. It's organic, it can help with repelling slugs, it's very good at isolating the soil, and contrary to sheep wool, this doesn't smell at all. So if you want to mulch the grow beds in your greenhouse, for example, I would advise alpaca wool. All right, that's it. Simple as that. This video was mainly to remind you that even though if you don't have seedlings at the ready to fill up a vacant space in your garden, you can always use existing crops and transplant them into the grow bed that you just emptied, actually to their benefit as they have now more space to grow. Thank you so much for watching the video. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.